Welcome to the Fundraising Leadership Mini Podcast, where we share tips to empower leaders in the nonprofit world. Today, you have with you your hosts, Margaret Katz-Can and David Languli. Hey, David, how's it going?
Hey, Margaret.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little like Eeyore
A
today.
little Eeyore, yeah, I
Eeyore,
imagine.
because we're like I think Eeyore is the prototypical victim saboteur, as I
And
remember him from Winnie the Pooh.
I think that is totally true. He's just a little depressive, and he's a good one to hold in mind today as we talk about the next saboteur in our ongoing introduction of the judge and the saboteurs from Shirzad Shamin's PQ program. And today we are going to be talking about the victim saboteur.
The victim.
And I'm here to tell you there are certain saboteurs that people want to hold on to, right? That they think being a hyperachiever is a good thing. Why would I want to get rid of that? Well, the victim, not so much. I
In
think,
fact, in fact, nobody even wants to admit to it, including me.
right, or me. And I'm gonna just fess up for both of us. Both David and I found out to our dismay. No way! I can't believe I'm a victim. That's just not
Yeah,
even true, right? But
yeah.
this was a saboteur that both of us got some points on.
Well, it was interesting because when I went through the PQ, when I took my saboteur assessment, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, it was buried under, the judge and controller. And it wasn't until I worked on those that then I retook the assessment, and then boom, the victim pops up because they're all still there. But that guy, I was saying to you before I got on the podcast with you, and it was in my blind spot, and I think that's where the victim hides. A lot of these hide in your blind spot. You don't even see them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, again, I don't think there are too many people who are pleased to think of this
Right.
saboteur being in them, and, I think it's a repelling energy being a victim, right? It's
Yes.
not something that draws people in, and yet
No.
it's an adaptive behavior that many of us just tried as children because it felt like a way to get some attention or get noticed.
Certainly, that's what it was for you and me.
Yeah.
So, if you grew up in a family, two working parents or otherwise, and you weren't getting much attention, certainly this was the case for me. Um, it's one way of getting attention, not very skillful, but it works when you're young.
Yeah. Yeah. And we thought it would be helpful to share just even a little bit more specifically the description of what are the thoughts and the feelings that are taking over when we are in the victim mode.
Do you want
So
to? All right. Do you want to do thoughts or feelings?
um, I don't know. I'll do thoughts and you do
You'll do
feelings.
thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
Go.
So the thoughts that one has when one is hijacked by the victim saboteur might include no one understands me, poor me, terrible things always happen to me. I might be uniquely disadvantaged or flawed. I am what I feel. And this one with a little star by it, I wish someone would rescue me from this dreary mess.
As we were going over those before we got on the podcast, I was like, "Yep, yep, yep, yeah."
Check, check,
I'm
check.
just I'm like being super vulnerable. This is like not anything I would ever, up until recently, even if I knew it, wouldn't want to confess it.
Yeah, yeah,
So here are some of the feelings. Tend to brood over negative feelings for a long time. Check.
check. Yeah. If I get
Feel
honked at while
alone
driving, oh my God, hours later, I'm still like, I can't believe that person honked at me.
Feel
It's,
alone and lonely even when I'm around people I'm close to. One of my favorite expressions used to be, it's an old Groucho Marxism. I would never want to be a member of a club that would have me as a member. I love that for so many years. It's how, you take pride in your victimhood.
It's true. It's a
Um,
badge of honor, how
yeah,
uniquely disadvantaged or flawed you are.
right. Feelings of melancholy and abandonment, absolutely, and envy and negative comparisons. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a tricky one. Again, I don't think too many people choose this. I think people believe they choose to be hyperachievers, and some of those other the controllers, some of the other
Oh, yeah.
saboteurs that are a little bit more adaptive, I'm going to say. But there's a feeling of collapse, I think, when the victim takes over. It's a really powerless place with we don't have a lot of vision of how to get out of it, I think,
Yeah.
when we
And
get
not only
hijacked.
that, it has, as with each of these saboteurs, these ways of being or behaviors have impact um, on yourself and on others. So, what are some of the impacts, Margaret?
Yeah, again, I mean, I said it's sort of a repellent
It
energy.
is
I think
like
it makes
nobody wants to
people,
be around the victim,
yeah, they wanna run. Like
right?
you're heavy, you're so heavy, and they're like, I just don't. It sounds exhausting to prop this
Right.
person up, right? That would be the other person, and when you're a victim, the other person's
Right.
like, whew, no, thank you.
It's around. It's kind of like in a similar way. I was just uh, talking to Lillian about this over the weekend. It's kind of like when negative, somebody's a negative person, like everything that comes out of their mouth is negative,
Right.
and you avoid them. Same thing with the victim. Like initially, people might give you a little attention, like, "Oh yeah, that's so, you're right, that's so bad," and then you just keep doing this and doing this and doing it, and people are like, "Yeah, okay, whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and I think the impact on oneself, and I said this before, but I'm going to focus on it a little bit more for a minute, is just this feeling of total collapse. Like we
Mhm.
lose all of our agency to solve a problem, to get to find any of those sage powers, right? Activate, innovate, like just gone,
Right.
right? If we fully surrender to the victim, there's no
Yeah.
way out, right? Or seemingly no way. We know there is a way out, actually, which is why the PQ program kicks ass.
Right.
But anyway, it's a very bleak space
It
to
is. It is. And it can really sap your vitality
yeah,
as a human being.
right. It's
Always,
your
always,
agency.
yeah, always being the victim. Nothing ever goes right for me. Like you make up a story that you're broken.
Yeah,
And one of the things we hold in coaching is that people are not broken. Even
right.
if you have a victim saboteur, you're not broken. Like
Yeah,
you can actually work on that. I know I have over the past few years, and I was sharing with you, Margaret, something that's coming up in my family where Lillian and I have to split our time in the spring between our two daughters who are graduating. One is graduating from college, the other one's graduating from high school, and we can't be in two. They're on the same day. The graduations are on the
on the
same day,
same day.
same exact day, same time, and we can't both be at each one. And so one of us is going to have to go to the college graduation. One of us is going to have to go to the high school graduation. And you know, both of my daughters really want their mom.
Yeah,
And I was like, and then I noticed, oh man, like I'm feeling like a little victim here. Like, why don't they want me?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know? But I mean, that would have been a lot worse if I had not worked on this saboteur.
Right. Like then you might have made the whole conversation about you,
It
right?
would have been all about me. Like,
Yeah.
how could you guys do this to me? I'm your father. You don't love me. Uh, I've done everything to support you. And then you can start to villainize them.
Right.
Hero,
Oh,
villain, victim. Oh, yeah, that's that. Remember that drama
right.
triangle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
I run around that Less so now. I used to run around it a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a whole nother topic of a
That
podcast.
is probably another topic. Yeah, I feel like with the victim, a really great starting point is some compassion. I mean, I think that
Yeah,
this particular saboteur comes from a lot of things, but one scenario might have been that you grew up in a family where you got noticed more when you had a problem. Like from the no
right,
news is good news school of parenting that until you came home bleeding or something bad happened or you got sick, that your parents just assumed you were fine and you didn't get a lot of acknowledgement or noticing. And, so it's something that builds like, oh, well, when I'm hurt or when there's something wrong, that's when
right.
I can get attention and noticing. And so it's just a more compassionate space to interact with this saboteur to remember like it comes from childhood wisdom of looking for what we needed as children.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. As adults, it's less skillful as a coping mechanism,
Yeah, absolutely. Less skillful, less
especially,
adaptive.
yes, adaptive, less skillful, just completely um, unnecessary, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and the power of this, of doing the PQ program is that you get to notice, like, "Oh, this is my victim saboteur." Like, you get to begin to separate, not, "I am a victim," but, "Oh, whoops, I seem
right,
to have handed the microphone to this victim-y
right,
person who's hogging it now."
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like all of these saboteurs, there's a certain subtlety in in this one, and with this one, it's like not clear how when you look at it, you think like, well, how could that ever benefit me? And it did at some point, as you were saying, Margaret.
Yeah.
It did. Uh, it's like hyperachiever. Like, yeah, earlier in life, yeah, achieving things got you a lot of goodies. And, being the victim got you some goodies.
Right. The skinned knee maybe got everybody in your family to slow down and look for Band-Aids for you, or, that's
Yeah.
obviously a metaphor, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So it came from a place. Yeah.
What else do we
So
want to say about it?
I think
Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was just gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah,
One
let's
more
wrap
thing
it
to add.
up.
Let's wrap it up. So, in the show notes, we will have a link to the tip sheet if you want to read more and quietly in the privacy of your own room, maybe look in this blind spot and see if you too have a little victim energy. And also, we continue to offer this PQ program, and we live this work and believe strongly in it, and would love to invite you to take a look.
Take a look. Yeah, this one is really, I would say, if you have, well, take the assessment, see how you score. Let's put a link to the PQ
Yeah, to the
assessment,
assessment.
the saboteur assessment in the show notes also. This is one that is can be very difficult to confront.
Yeah.
And so even if you score 5 or more on victim, reach out to us, put yourself into the PQ program. This is one well worth working on. Speaking for myself and Margaret, who've actually worked on it.
Yeah, it is absolutely possible to tame this saboteur, and as you start to tame it, you realize it's pretty toxic, it's pretty
Yes,
toxic in relationship. It's
it
not
is.
it's not what you want to lead with, I don't think, in the world. It's probably
It's uh, counterintuitively, you become much more unlovable
yeah,
when you're constantly in victim mode.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
All
Great. So
right.
check it out. So this mini podcast is brought to you by Fundraising Leadership. We provide unique coaching and training programs that powerfully transform how you work in order to get results. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're enjoying the show, you can help us continue to bring thoughtful content with a monthly or annual contribution. This supports our production costs and keeps the show ad-free. Please make a contribution today using the link in the show notes. Now, go put it into practice.